Okay, so I believe that in the next few months, we are going to see the first ever seven-figure agency run by just one person and a team of AI agents and automations. Now, the reality is that most agencies still work on workflows which are stuck in the past, tools which are old-fashioned. So if you want to break into the agency space, this is your key differentiator. Also, if you're already in the agency space, this is how you set yourself apart. So I'm an expert at exactly this, implementing AI automations into agencies to make them run better. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how we can automate every single part from client acquisition to service delivery in your agency. I'm also going to show you the exact workflows that I've automated into agencies so you can copy them and build an agency which can scale without headcount. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, so as I was saying, here's how you're going to build a 100K a month marketing agency run by just one person. Now, first things first, let's break down the kind of core parts which operate as an agency, and then look at how we can automate them and make them run by themselves. First things first is client acquisition. Obviously huge for an agency, getting new clients, getting new work. We're going to look at workflows and AI agents which can automate that process. Next thing is that kind of sales and onboarding process, how you can make that as quick and as streamlined as possible. A huge part for agencies, and this is kind of the biggest part of the video, is going to be diving into service delivery. So how can you build a business which has a completely autonomous service delivery? So you can sit back, focus on kind of how you get new clients while the business runs by itself. Now, kind of sounds too good to be true, and it sort of is at the moment, but we are really seeing a shift where agencies aren't catching up. And some agencies are honestly putting in less than an hour a week, a month. The rest is running on automations. I've seen it happen, and you wouldn't believe the prices they are charging for automation. And the final thing is client communication. So that kind of a smaller part of an agency, which knocks kind of an hour or two out of your day, catching up with clients, emails, Slack messages. How can we automate that? Before we dive into any of the workflows and before we dive into how we can do any of this, let's start with the most key principle. And this is from, let's say Charlie Morgan is a big promoter of this. We're going to sell one thing to one niche because we can't scale selling to everyone, selling loads of different done for you builds. So the idea in this video is I'm going to be selling SEO. So I'm going to be showing you how you can set up an SEO agency where I believe, especially with the kind of rising importance of like large language model optimization and kind of coming up on a ChatGPT search, I think an SEO agency is a very good business model to reinvent. Obviously, there are loads of established SEO agencies out at the moment, but I think it's something that's going to be massively reinvented, and you can get ahead of a lot of SEO agencies that exist at the moment and sell to one niche. I don't know, we're going to sell to software companies, something like that. You probably want more specific than that, but we're going to sell one thing to one niche. That way we can actually build automations which have this copy and paste framework. Otherwise, there's no point automating anything because everything needs to be done individually. So let's just outline that core principle of automation that you can't automate if you don't sell one thing to one niche. Okay, fantastic. That's clear. Let's jump in to the first stage, which is client acquisition. In my opinion, client acquisition is probably the least automatable thing. Not the least automatable, but the thing you should automate the least. And the reason is because I think agencies which are now going to scale to what I'm saying here, which will be 100K a month, a seven-figure agency, needs to be powered by a personal brand. And I think you don't have to go viral. You don't have to have a huge following, but you need to be visible online. You need to come up when people search your name. People need to stumble across your profile, see that you're genuine. And I think it didn't used to be the truth that you need a personal brand, but I think it's becoming increasingly important. And if you are going to become the next seven-figure agency, you need a personal brand. I would say focus on LinkedIn and focus on YouTube. Now, I think there's a lot of kind of stigma around, Instagram, TikTok, go viral, get 1 million views on a video. But the reality is the B2B market are 100% hanging out on LinkedIn and YouTube. And when they're on those apps, they are looking for your type of content to digest. They're looking for content like what you're watching now. and they tie in super nicely. You haven't got to cutting down and reformatting videos and clipping things. Like, you can take a YouTube video, you can make a LinkedIn post, you can link it to the YouTube video. It super streamlines that process even. And vidIQ is a great tool if you want to automate more of your YouTube and just streamline the process. But also, I think we're not like automating the full process. Obviously, you need to be in front of a camera, you need to be talking, you need to be writing. I don't think you should be automating your personal brand. I'm saying that quite honestly. But what I think you should be doing is streamlining every small process. So writing YouTube video descriptions, writing video titles, coming up with video ideas. You should be building, and I think this is kind of quite overlooked, and people kind of think this isn't AI automation, isn't using AI properly, but building custom GPTs just with what works for you in your workflow. You should have a custom GPT for absolutely everything from, like I said, writing YouTube video descriptions to coming up with video ideas to researching what the competitors are doing. Like, you can build custom OpenAI agents super easily, and you just should, because it's going to save you time, and it saves you going to ChatGPT and searching in the same thing every time. Like, build a custom GPT that analyzes someone's LinkedIn voice that you like and is doing well and rewrites it in their style. There's so many different ways that you can use them. So use custom AI agents. Like 90% of your work with ChatGPT should be on OpenAI agents. So obviously I'd focus most of my time on this inbound lead generation system. But at the same time, kind of in the beginning days when you're getting things picked up, when you're trying to work out your product market fit, your offer, I would use outbound if you can afford to use outbound. So tools like Clay and Instantly. I'd use Clay to find the leads for my business, and I'd use Instantly to craft emails to message them. I'd then use Pros for anything kind of LinkedIn related and contacting them also through LinkedIn. And then, like I said, again, building AI agents wherever you can to write in your tone of voice, streamline things, streamline replying to people. And this, I almost think you should treat in the early days of an agency, not like getting clients. I think cold email isn't about getting clients anymore. It's almost like what we use Meta and Google Ads for in the beginning, validating demand. Which offer are people most interested in? If you can afford to set up infrastructure on cold email properly, you can super easily go ahead and test loads of different offers, sending 1,000 emails a day and see what sticks. Then these two tie together super well. So whatever is working, you build video content around, you build LinkedIn posts around. Validate the demand by sending emails to people saying, hey, I just built this. Do you want it for free? Yes or no? You don't even have to send it to them. You don't even have to have built anything. Just see what gets a conversation started. And then I think the reason we now have the possibility to do this, and this may be a little bit controversial, the reason we now have the possibility to reach 100K a month is because of this. Meta and Google Ads are getting so incredible with their AI systems. And the more kind of, once you'd use this in the early beginning stages, and you'd use this, especially your personal brand, the whole way through. But when you want to start scaling, you can give the data to Google Ads, you can give it to Meta of exactly who is your ideal customer profile, and you'll find that out. And the more money you start throwing into these platforms, the more you can literally just start generating an infinite amount of leads. So I think in the early stages I'd get going with this, but then the reality is, like, it comes to a point when once you've mastered this, you found your product market fit, that you can just pump tens of thousands of dollars into these platforms and get your agency more and more leads, infinite supply of leads almost. So that's what I believe client acquisition should look like as an automated system. Essentially, not super automated, but streamlined. So streamlining things where you can. Okay, and the next thing is sales and onboarding. Now I'm going to kind of walk through and show you some actual automations that we've built for this. The most important automation I think you can build for this is the following. Let's say this guy here books a call. The idea is that you want a WhatsApp message which is completely automated with everything you need to know about this person, that just shows an hour before the call, so you can prepare for that call without kind of searching up what their company name is, what they do, how much money they're making. And the automation that powers that is here, and it's super, super powerful. I didn't build this, I must say, but we use it and implement it into agencies all the time. So it's going to search when you've got an upcoming meeting, and it's going to extract the details from the invite. So it's going to learn who is this, what company they're working for. Then it's going to monitor their LinkedIn, look at what they've posted about, and have a look at kind of use Perplexity to actually research a bit more about their company, what their role is at their company, and almost tell you, are they a qualified lead or are they not a qualified lead? And all of that you get back in a WhatsApp message. So a super powerful way to automate a process that would normally take 30 minutes, an hour per lead. So you're saving a good few hours a week once you've automated something like this. And then I think, that's the majority of your sales automated. Sales is something, again, that if you're going to be on a call, you can't automate all the way, because at the end of the day, it's like your personal brand. You can't put an AI bot on a sales call. If it's a one-person business, you need to be on every sales call. But the next thing would then be onboarding. How can you take a client from they're interested all the way through to signing the contract and getting onboarded? So again, this is just about streamlining everything you can with automation. So we've got an automation in an agency, which as soon as you get off the call, we'll download the transcript, send a quick email to the prospect saying, thank you for chatting, it was great to talk about this. I'll send a proposal through in an hour. Then you can customize the proposal template. Again, it comes back to this. If you're selling one thing to one niche, you should have one proposal template, one sales script, which can be fully customized just depending on what this person does, because it's going to match your ideal customer profile already. You can automate all of this, automate email with Stripe and send off, automate the onboarding form. Like, that's so easy to do. But I've spoken to agencies and I've seen the back end of agencies, and people aren't automating this. Like, forget automating the big thing that I'm about to show you below, which is client delivery. Like, this is something any agency could automate, and you can, I don't know, people don't automate it, but you should. So just thinking about these kind of core principles of getting clients, which can be automated. And then I take that onboarding form, that's super important information. Take that onboarding call plus potentially what we talked about above here, which was, the transcript. So I take the transcript, I take the onboarding form, and I'd use this to create, number one, a custom GPT, which knows everything about the client, knows the deal you just signed, so you can ask it any questions kind of in the early stages. A delivery system, which we're going to talk about below, and set up your kind of go high level business profile, whatever CRM you want to use to automate everything. Probably go high level because it's got some great automations. But again, these stages, these early onboarding stages can be automated, and it's just about being super, super systematic with every time you have a new client. They follow the same process, they go through the same automations. It is easier said than done, but with iterations, you can build these automations which do just run smoothly. Okay, now I think the biggest part of the video comes under product delivery. Now, a lot of people will say this is ridiculous, but I think we're at a point, specifically like I said with SEO, and I don't just think we're at a point, I have proved we're at a point where we can now automate a service like SEO and product delivery using AI agents, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the exact system we use to do this. So there's a few different parts to this. Number one is basically writing content. So this does three things. It, number one, analyzes their brand's voice. It researches blog ideas and writes a draft, writes a plan, and then executes the full blog post and posts it onto their CMS, onto their website builder. So what we've done here is fully automated what would normally take a client, 6-7 hours of copywriting. There's a huge debate over this. Does AI content rank? And to be honest, I wasn't so sure until we've implemented this into multiple businesses. And the secret is it does, because it does write good content. This isn't about pasting a blog idea into ChatGPT. This is a system which fully allows for content to be written and for these automations to be built. Backlink agent is another thing. So backlinks, again, huge part of SEO. And what we've done is completely streamline the process of basically reaching out to people and trying to get backlinks organically. Now, lots of SEO agencies are also paying companies to get backlinks. So we've also automated that process, which makes the delivery order super simple, sends them all the info. The bill gets sent over, the client pays the bill. And, if you're working with an external agency to build links, again, that can be fully automated. Then we've got things like the local SEO agent, which have a look at Yelp and Google My Business, suggest opportunities to optimize. We've also got automations which help manage reviews. And by the way, these automations, I have exact guides on how I've built for all of these in the Skool community, which is below. So check out the Skool community, because I will show you each automation. You can go ahead and download these automations. You can use them, and the community is completely free. So go and check them out. Then also we've got a technical SEO agent. We've got things that write meta descriptions, meta titles, image alt text. Now I know there's quite a lot of info, so I'm going to go super simply what this is going to look like. So a new client comes on board. First thing we're going to do is all of their on-page SEO. Now, if you don't know SEO, this is basically kind of core principles you have to have on your website to make it rank well. We do this in 24 hours. So a new client is on board. We have an automation which looks through hundreds of pages, writes their meta titles, meta descriptions, image alt text, refines their H1 header. And what would normally take an on-page agency, potentially 3 months to do, we've done in 24 hours. The next thing we do is set up the blog system. So writing content. And that is going to be scheduled weekly. And again, that will take maybe 10, 20 minutes a week of just checking, refining, having a copywriter look through to make sure it's all fine. And the more you do this, the more you refine your automations, the more you can learn. The more your AI agent will learn what you like and what needs to be written. So once that's done, we then just have the same thing. So we'll have also a kind of backlink agent running in the background, and then something which I think is super cool. And when I said talking about differentiating yourself from other agencies is LLM optimization. Everyone wants to know, how can you rank in ChatGPT? How can you rank in Gemini? And the secret at the moment is Reddit. Now, this is something that definitely people aren't automating. Reddit is a community where people have conversations, and Reddit is the most cited source by ChatGPT and by Claude. ChatGPT and Google have special agreements with Reddit to scrape their content. I think 60 million is the agreement between Google and Reddit, because the content on Reddit is gold. So if your brand can appear on Reddit more, the more likely you are to come up under ChatGPT search. Now, again, we have built an automation for just this. Let me show it to you. What this looks like is this. It goes through and it finds Reddit posts based on your keyword. So if I show you the Airtable we've built, which is kind of the front and behind this, we can go ahead and literally enter a new keyword. So for example, I want to look at blog post automation. I can go ahead, click that, and then it's going to run this automation, which is going to go ahead and find Reddit posts. It's going to pass that through a few different code blocks. It's going to get the Reddit post, get 10 different Reddit posts which relate to that. Then it's going to give an AI agent all the information it needs to write a super useful comment which mentions our brand name. For example, like this. Hey, cold emails are def tricky at first. A quick trick is to keep it super short. Really naturally written things which are then automatically posted onto Reddit. They mention your brand name, and then you get the comment URL of what has just been posted. So that's definitely a huge benefit for kind of streamlining this process. And this is what it's about if you are launching an SEO agency. Just having a look at LLM optimization. And this is why I said I think SEO is one of probably an agency where most of them are running in the past. And this is where there's opportunity to absolutely differentiate yourselves from who already exists there. So you can automate everything that SEO agencies already do, then you can add this on again through an automation. So that is how I would automate the majority of product delivery, and that's exactly how we have automated the majority of product delivery for SEO agencies. I think obviously what I'm saying here is easier said than done, but I do think it's possible and I do think it works. It takes time to refine, it takes time to make it work properly, you're going to have errors, but if you have the smoothest system in place, you will watch your brand scale and the product delivery scale with it. And I think if you master this, and I think no agency has actually mastered this, like sure, loads of agencies are automating automation, but no agency has fully mastered automation to the point they have scaled to multi-seven figures a year using only automation and one person. But I think it's so clear now that this is going to happen, and if you do it right and you keep refining and you believe you can do it, I think this is going to be huge and someone will be doing it in the next few months for sure. Okay, final thing is client communication, something that when I speak to agencies they get bogged down in a lot with questions and all sorts of things. Fryxer to reply and kind of sort out your emails, and then we have all sorts of Slack automations which are kind of built off the knowledge bank of what these SEO agencies already know, and they help kind of refine Slack messages whenever questions are asked. They help you draft replies, all sorts of automations there, which again you should check out in the community below. That's everything for this video, and I think I was super excited to make this because I do believe that it's an opportunity. You know, we've had Sam Altman saying recently that we're going to see the first ever $1 billion software company launched by one person. And I think this is the opportunity to be the first ever 7-figure marketing agency run by one person. And you don't even have to be technical to do it. That's the crazy thing. This is all through no-code automation. So let me know what you think. I know a lot of people think this is crazy, but I actually think this is going to happen. And I think with what I've just said, you can take that and make it happen. Thank you so much. Please do join the community below, and I'll see you in the next video.